I've been looking for a laptop that checks off every box for a while now. I had a budget of $2,000 on dozens of laptops to look through. And a lot of these higher end laptops, and I'm talking like $1,500 and above, are always missing something. They're made of plastic. They have poor build quality. I can't stand plastic. I was willing to sacrifice that if I found a laptop that checked off literally every other box until I found this laptop, the Gigabyte Aero 16. You can find this laptop for anywhere between $1,600 and $2,100, but from what I've found, this device is worth the full $2,100 if you can't find it for less. It's a really premium machine. The specs speak for themselves. You're getting an i7-12700H, which is a 14-core, 20-thread, latest gen Intel CPU, a 3070 Ti GPU, a terabyte of really fast storage, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, before I tell you how great of a laptop this is, I first want to tell you about Digital Chilmart. DigitalChilmart.com is the best place to get cheap Windows 10 and 11 licensed keys. If you're building a PC or have built one, but you're still running an unactivated version of Windows, Digital Chilmart has you covered. Simply go to the front page of their website, scroll down a bit, and you'll find Windows 10 and 11 for great prices. And the prices get better. I have a coupon code for you guys to use. Type in RUTECH right here, and it'll be instantly applied. Link for DigitalChilmart.com will be in my description. Now, obviously, if you're spending between $1,600 and $2,100, you definitely could get quite better specs in a different laptop, but you'd be missing out on a few key things that make this laptop so great. Let's first talk about the main thing that drew me in with this laptop: the build quality. My last laptop suffered from really bad build quality. And yes, I will be name dropping. It was the Samsung Galaxy Book Pro. I was looking for something that was light and powerful, and it had both of those things, but it gave me so many problems in the single year that I used it. After that disaster, I decided I wanted something a lot more premium built, like a MacBook. MacBooks, you spend $1,000 or a couple $1,000s, and it feels like and it looks like it costed that much. With a lot of these Windows laptops that you get for that price, they're made of plastic and they don't really feel premium. And of course, that also comes at a cost. They're more flimsy and not quite as durable. Well, you're getting that same feeling of premiumness with the Aero 16. The chassis is entirely made of metal. It gives you that same premiumness vibe you get with Macs, which was precisely what I was looking for. It's certainly not thin, it's heavy duty, but that makes sense if you're looking for a really versatile machine like I was. Next up, let's talk about the screen. If you read about the specs a little bit with this screen, it kind of goes to show this laptop isn't entirely made for gamers. It is an AMOLED 4K 60 Hz screen. If you're familiar with other laptops in this price range, you know that you could absolutely be getting a 1440p screen with like a 144 Hz refresh rate instead, so that you can game in those higher refresh rates and get a much smoother experience. Here's how I see it. I wanted this laptop for primarily productivity reasons, and if I ever wanted to game, I wouldn't want to be gaming on a 16-inch display. I'm more accustomed to monitors, so if I wanted to game, I'd just plug an HDMI into the laptop, plug the other end into a monitor, and then I'd do some gaming. But if I'm doing video editing, color correcting, Photoshop, watching movies, or something along those lines, I would want to be using the 60 Hz 4K AMOLED screen, as I don't need a high refresh rate to do those things. And you can absolutely tell it's OLED 4K. The colors are beautiful, HDR looks phenomenal, the screen can get blindingly bright if you need it to be, and the picture is so sharp. I mean, you cannot see the pixels unless you take your iPhone 13 Pro and use the macro lens to zoom in on it. It's that sharp. This is a top of the line display. Now, just because it doesn't have a gaming focused screen or a mux switch, that doesn't mean this laptop can't game by any means. Here's Warzone at high settings in 4K. You're still getting above 60 FPS on average, and if you want to play in 1440p with those high settings, then you can see more competitive frames, which, like I said though, you'd only get to experience if you had an external high refresh rate monitor. Either way though, with laid back games, 60 Hz, totally fine. I was having a decent bit of fun trying to play the new Fall Guys season here in 60 Hz and then playing a bit of Fortnite. Now with the i7-12700H, you're getting a ton of power, and that pretty much means there's barely any limitations to what you're doing unless you're doing something that's extremely demanding. Music production, for example, no problem at all. This certainly was a great buy for when I'm at the studio with my band. It had no problem loading up VSTs and audio samples. I mean, it was to be expected, but yeah, super seamless with stuff like that. And video editing is also easy as ever. I can preview my 4K footage with very little delay, and then when it's time to render, also very quick. Being able to edit high-res footage on the go is super great and is not a problem at all with the Aero 16. How about the keyboard and trackpad? They aren't really anything special, but I have no complaints. They both feel really solid and there aren't any weird or unnecessary quirks. And the typing experience, at least on the level of standards with membrane keyboards, is really solid. Here's a little audio sample. One shortcoming of the Aero 16 is the fact that it only has 16 gigabytes of RAM. I can definitely let it slide, and I understand why it doesn't have 32, as they gave incredible build quality and an amazing display, but it would absolutely be the cherry on top if it did have 32. But luckily you can upgrade the RAM, so if it really becomes a problem for you, you can just pop open the laptop and upgrade it yourself. Speaking of popping open the laptop, let's do just that. The inside is designed as you would expect, with the battery on the bottom and everything else towards the top. As you can see here, unfortunately, if you were to upgrade the RAM, you would have to buy 2 brand new sticks as opposed to just buying 1, but at least you do have that option. Luckily, there are 2 M2 slots, so if you wanted to add more storage, all you'd have to do is plug in your additional M2 SSD into the right M2 slot. As for the battery life, it's nothing crazy, but I don't have any complaints. If you're not doing anything super demanding, it'll last you more than just a few hours. For ports, it's good and bad. The good news is you have a big selection of ports, like every port you'd really need when it comes to productivity and gaming. The bad news though is that you need a little adapter to access all of those ports. The adapter does come with the PC though, and the design of it is pretty seamless with the Aero 16, so at least it looks cool. It's really not that big of a deal if you don't mind having to plug in a dongle when you want to plug in a USB-A device or plug in a mouse or keyboard or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, this is one of those laptops where you might need to carry around an adapter if you're taking it with you somewhere. And one quick thing about something that I know matters to a decent bit of you, the unboxing experience. The first impression, it was really enjoyable. It's always a good sign when the unboxing experience feels premium, because it goes to show that the product designers want you to have a premium experience in every aspect. So yeah, after using this laptop for a week now, I am absolutely sold that it was worth the price. If you do both work and like to game here and there, this is the laptop for you. Premium design, premium feel, it's a fast and capable device. There's very little things you can't do with the Aero 16. I'm really happy with my purchase, and I do highly recommend it if you're in the same boat as I was, looking for something that screams quality and performance. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Have any comments or questions, do drop a comment below. And if you enjoy the content you're seeing, I would really appreciate it if you dropped a sub. Thanks for watching. Peace out.